Ever since the day that you went away, you've been sending flowers, flowers to me, flowers today, flowers.
Hey guys, wagwan and welcome to A Glimpse Into My Life. Today's video is sponsored by my book. I wrote a book. If you want to check it out or check out what it's about before you maybe check it out to buy it, you can watch the video in the eye, whichever side it is. And yeah, with that out of the way, this week's video is going to be about the D'Amelio show. Basically, it's a recap and review. So I'll give the most important points by my own standards, the most important parts of the episodes, and then my thoughts and my feelings and whatever, Before I actually start to do that, I think I should disclaim that I don't have a TikTok and I didn't know anything about this family before I watched the show. So whatever it is that they're trying to portray to me, whatever narrative they're trying to build is the only narrative that I have. I have no other perceptions of them other than the fact that they do TikTok and get a lot more than I or the average person would think, they're supposed to. I don't know. The only reason I decided to even make this video and watch this show is because I saw them in the new releases section of my very, very non-sketchy website, and I was like, it intrigued me for some reason, even though I genuinely have no other interest in them. I don't know, the show just called to me, and for some reason I guess I needed to see it. I actually don't know. So the show is literally about their rise, not their rise to fame. That's not even the truth. The show is about all the bullying that they face because of their fame. And I wish I read the blurb properly and I understood that properly before I watched the show, because I was expecting some rich people flexing, some drama. I was expecting a lot of things that I did not get, and I was disappointed for a while. I really was. And to anybody that would like to copyright this video, it is protected by fair use, commentary and criticism, and the other things that fair use talks about. This video is protected by fair use. Anyways, let's get into episode 1. So from the first 30 seconds of the show, I realized that this is really not what I was expecting. Wasn't going in with much expectations, but this wasn't it. As I said, was expecting drama, something. It starts with a very mellow, can I say boring beginning, where Charlie just gets out of bed and goes to the bathroom. I was really confused because I was like, this looks like the beginning of a movie, like a very sad and depressing movie. The whole thing reads more like a movie against cyberbullying than a reality show. So Charlie introduces herself and gives background info. There's nothing really important to me about what she says. Actually, I can't remember what she says off the top of my head right now. So didn't leave an impact on me at all. But you see where it heads into right from the beginning, about her fame and stuff like that, and how people may have a problem with her fame. And I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I don't feel like she's done anything wrong. She only did what TikTok required. By this time, it's 8 minutes in and I was genuinely so bored, because as I said, don't have TikTok, wasn't interested in them. So this introduction was completely useless to me. I did not care, and it did not help me to care. At this point, I was still expecting a reality show format, even though the beginning threw me off with Charlie rolling out of her bed like that. I was expecting to pick up at some point, and it just never did, Now then it goes on to give this kind of explanation about why they're doing what they're doing. The parents talk about how they're basically doing this for fun. It's because their children want it. If it were to destroy their family, destroy their lives, affect their children's mental health too badly, then it would all stop. Like, they prioritize their children's health and well-being above everything else, that if it were not okay, they would put the life to a stop for the betterment of their children. Now, throughout this whole series, I can say that I do not believe anything that has just come out of their mouth.
It's like they break up every single thing I do and make it like a negative thing.
But I'm getting too ahead of myself, aren't I? It's only the first episode. So for Charlie's part of this video, they sit her down in front of her agents, her 4 different people, I don't know what they are, and they basically plan out her entire 2021. So there's a folder for every month, and every month has everything she needs to do that month, all the endorsements, the things that are happening. Actually, I don't think it's broken up by month. I think it's broken up by just the things that they're doing. Yeah, that's the right one. And just me being me, sitting down and watching them place out everything in front of her, I got overwhelmed. And I'm not the one that has to do those things. But when I write down my list of to-do list at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, I get overwhelmed. And there's like 10 things at most. Imagine having your whole year planned out for you. All the things that you have to do, every single one, just sitting in front of you at January 1st, 2021. I would get so overwhelmed that I just wouldn't want to do it. So I wondered how she felt in that situation. She looked like she took it well. She had a smile on her face, blah 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 blah, but I don't know how she really felt on the inside. And then her mother talks about something. Her mother brings up that I would like my child to have her own free time. Like, where's the time for her to be to have fun and to be a kid? And they assure her that they have her best interests at heart, and if Charlie would need a break, then they can facilitate a break. And this is planned out ahead of time so that it can run smooth. As Charlie's mother, I feel like instead of asking the question, where would my child's free time be, as a genuine question, I would demand said free time. You know what I'm saying? Because out of Charlie's money, you're paying her agents. Henceforth, you decide. Overall, I don't know how everything works, but I would assume that if she's paying them, the parents are paying the agents, then they would be able to call the shots. Because if the parent doesn't want to do it, then they can fire them and use somebody else that would do the job closer to their wants and desires. So I did wonder about that part, why she was asking it instead of, saying it. Because no matter how much they tell you that, yes, we'll have time, we'll have breaks, you're not supposed to believe them. That's just literally just not the truth. And then for Dixie's portion, we're introduced to her and her music journey, which is a continuous storyline throughout this entire series. And they also talk about Dixie's struggle with anxiety and depression, and how that affects her music, how that affects how she may perform, how that affects how she receives criticism, and how it affects her being involved within the process, the writing and the singing process. Now, I have to tell you, I was genuinely surprised by her voice. I have only listened to one of her songs, and I wasn't very impressed by her vocal ability, agility, skill, anything really. I wasn't very impressed. And I know I could listen to one song, and the rest of their discography could be very vocally demanding, and that one song wasn't. So I wasn't trying to base my entire perception of her skill off of one song, but I was still surprised because that's the only song I've heard. it seems to me like, in comparison to the video that I watched of hers, that her voice sounds better in better produced and better written songs. Her vocal tone, even though I still think could be improved, was really good here in my opinion, which is something that Be Happy very seriously lacked. It's a song about being sad, and her tone wasn't able to convey that. Like, songs and song lyrics are stories. They're supposed to tell a story, and your expression, your tone, the things that come with that help to tell said story. So if they don't accompany them well, then you're gonna have a subpar song, and that's what Be Happy was, in my opinion. I don't know if her voice has always been like this, or if she's just been improving by the help of these vocal coaches, or if she's been too anxious before or nervous to sing to her full potential. But when her music heads release basic, lackluster, half-baked music, they're taking advantage of the fact that they know her fans will eat up anything she puts out, whether it's good or not. She's working with professionals. They would know if it was done to its full potential, and I think they knew it wasn't, but knew it would still end up doing well. Then episode 2 comes along, and I was once again bored, but I noticed something different about this episode. I would like to propose that a lot of these plot lines are fake, which I know is something that happens in reality shows, but since I had come to the realization that it wasn't going to be this drama-filled reality show, and they had so far touched on cyberbullying, and they touched on stuff that the sisters were doing within their lives and careers, that it wouldn't have to be a fake storyline kind of reality show. But here we are. It's just my thought. It felt very forced and fake to me. Maybe that's just because the editing isn't up to par in the parts that are supposed to be funny, so the joke ends up falling really flat. But that's just how I felt about it.
Madison, that's a joke. I know that's a joke.
No!
She's joking.
You're kidding.
It's a joke.
That's a joke.
Take
No,
it out.
it's not.
Then there's stuff that happened, but they weren't important to me, so I didn't write them down. But I remember seeing this comment that came up because they put up comments on the screen when people when they do certain things, so that you can see like live reactions, the internet's live reaction to their foolishness, their mistakes, or their accomplishments. One of them was, why does every TikToker think they can sing? And I would like to address that question for some reason, even though it doesn't really have anything to do with the D'Amelio show, and it was probably on the screen for less than 10 seconds. I want to answer the question. It's not TikTokers that think they can sing. It's agents that tell them that they're going to sing. I'm sorry. For some reason, they feel like they have to capitalize even more off of the TikTok shame. What? Shame? I meant to say fame. They usually have agents that tell them that they have to branch out and do something else in order to secure their careers. And for some people, they end up choosing singing because actually I don't know. So I don't think it usually comes out of a place of I've always wanted to sing because I was extremely good at singing. I think it more comes out of a place of these people are trying to secure their livelihoods and listen to what their agents tell them to do. But this is more of the people behind the scenes than the TikTokers, in my opinion. First of all, I have acoustic performances, greater than sign, greater than sign, greater than sign. I feel like her voice really goes well with the acoustic guitar. Just the environment, she did really well there, I think, and she receives good comments. They're painting it as the first time. I doubt that's the case, but as I said before, I don't know anything about them. Didn't really keep up on the comments, surrounding them. So I don't know if that's true or not, but they paint it as if it is the first time she's receiving mostly good comments. Yeah, so they have this little brunch where they sit down and talk, and I felt a bit uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't. Maybe it's because the camera was there, but I hope they're more free than that, even with all the parents there and everything without the camera, because me and my little social anxious self, I wouldn't feel comfortable there at all, the way how everybody... Oh, I'm sorry. I will stop talking about that. And this is where I start to get really tired of them constantly bringing up the social media and how it affects their lives, because I have kept it out because it has been a common theme that I don't feel the need to bring it back up. But seriously, whenever they sit down and have a conversation for more than 2 minutes, it somehow ends up being about how much they hate social media and how the people on it are so toxic and stuff like that. And that is the truth. I cannot deny the fact that, especially as influencers, they're going to receive a lot of hateful comments, and for some reason people really hate TikTokers. I don't get that part. I won't lie to you. I do think a lot of them get unnecessary success. They don't do much, so henceforth don't deserve much. But I also think they don't do much, henceforth they don't deserve the hate that comes with it. Like, they just so happened to get famous off of this app. Anyways, I did wonder if this is generally how they spend their lives, just complaining about the literal thing that made them rich and famous. Like, could you shut up for 1 second? That's when I really realized, and it really sunk in, that this show isn't gonna be about anything else except social media. I did start having some hot flashes, and I started to wonder if this is what I set myself up for the rest of my life. Like, do they really sit down and complain about the industry that made them rich? Like, I don't think that's the case, and that's just how the show sets it up to get their point across. But geesh, it's getting tiring, it's getting annoying, and it's getting repetitive. It's just an onslaught of complaints, and it's getting old. It's not like every time they talk about it they add a new perspective, they add something new to the table. No, it's the same rehashed points and message. You could have said it once and it would have had the same impact, or at least, or even a greater impact than you saying it 20 times, because then the person listening just gets bored. If I was going to be moved by this show as a hater to stop hating on them, I would have been moved by the first episode when Dixie had her breakdown. Like, why are you still talking about it now? But then it's like, after having all those thoughts, I had to shut myself up, because I saw the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. So basically, somebody had predicted that Charli D'Amelio would die, and then she posted a dance video, I believe, and because she wasn't dead, people were sending her hate, saying she should have died. At this time, this is a 16-year-old girl that makes dance videos on TikTok. How has she upset you that much? You are a weirdo. You are weird.
Like, I literally just posted me dancing today, and I just took it down. So someone like predicted my death, and apparently they predicted like a bunch of other people's deaths, and I was supposed to die, but instead of dying I posted a dance video, so people weren't nice because they thought I was gonna die.
Don't do that, and don't partake in that. That is weird. Like, that is strange behavior. I definitely know that there are some people, that celebrities, that get death threats and stuff like that, but I was just wondering what it would be like to be her age and seeing all of those things said about you. being in the limelight for about a year. It sounds horrendous. That's all I can say. I still stand by what I said before about them constantly sitting down to complain about the hate. Yes, I know it's for the plot of the show and everything, but I still stand by how it was getting boring seeing that all the way into episode 4, wondering when the hell they're gonna shut up. But this is extremely weird. I wonder how she filmed during that time. I feel like this is kind of exploitative. I won't even lie. We're getting her first reaction to people wondering why this 16-year-old bitch isn't dead. And that is so weird. What has she done to you? After all of what just went on through episode 4, episode 5 starts with Charlie and Dixie being extremely busy. I remember what I said in episode 1 when the agents were talking about, you know, yeah, she'll get free time, just talk to us, we have her best interest at heart. Yeah, remember when I said that? Charlie talks about how it's weird to be considered as a role model for kids when she's just a teenager, which I get. She's only 16 here, and you have people looking up to her. 16-year-olds do a lot of stupid things, and I'm not talking about using slurs. I'm just saying we're not very mature beings. I said I'm not 16 but they're not very mature beings, and they're not anywhere close to being fully mature. So having young children look up to her in that way may be burdensome, but then their parents are also looking with the children and will complain over every simple mistake that she makes. So yeah, that's a nice point. Can somebody tell me what happened in their relationship? Because I actually don't know. I didn't know they dated. And then episode 5 basically ends with them being busy again.
If everything keeps going the way it's going right now, my life is going to be worse. And I'm gonna get burnt out. I wish sometimes things were a little bit more calm here when I was like working and also doing a million things. So it's like I need to actually change things, trying to balance it. I don't know. That's like kind of my thing that I'm trying to find out right now.
And then they just had to talk about this part. Like, Dixie, you're not getting cancelled. You're getting made fun of. This is why I say people kind of misunderstand cancel culture. People making fun of you or criticizing you isn't cancel culture. And I'll maybe make a different video about my views on cancel culture, but like, I don't know why you would I don't know how you could misuse the word that badly.
A couple weeks ago, I probably would be in my bed crying.
Progress.
Dude, I'm so proud of you.
I see Dr. Green once a week, and he's been helping me work on taking care of myself physically and mentally.
Couldn't care less. Probably couldn't afford him, you know. They said that they would like to share resources with certain people, but I'm pretty sure 99% of the people watching this Hulu show cannot afford him as a therapist. So, you know.
Health thing. I saw this tweet this morning. Wait, hold on, let me read it first.
So someone posted like a cute little like video of me, and then someone commented, "Can't f***ing stand her. She's just a spoiled little bitch who should hang herself."
I think I'm gonna read it. Looking at I'm gonna delete it.
All I have to say about this is weirdos.
Nothing is as it seems online. Like, no one is 100% honest. And even if you are in the beginning, you won't be by the end of it. It changes people.
I needed to add this part. Let her words speak for themselves. But at the same time, does that include me?
People don't like who I am. I didn't think it would be like as I don't know.
This is why I don't go out. I don't want to talk to anyone.
I know we talked last week about Charlie's calendar. We're at a point where she's just feeling really overwhelmed. She's not in a good place, and all she wants to do is dance, and she can't like bring herself to do that. Like, she needs a break.
She's about to get just to do normal kid things. Just we need to do clear schedule. Got it.
Then Charlie bawls her eyes out because she feels overworked, which I mentioned before. Like, who saw this coming? And her mother finally sits down and says she needs a break, which should have happened before she reached to the point of crying her eyes out in her bedroom. But okay, I think this episode was supposed to show them looking forward to the future, and as it was coming to a close, being more optimistic and stuff like that. But gross. But you know, am I really supposed to believe that just because the siblings are feeling a bit better mentally, that this is the whole end to their social media war? Like, because that's what the show is trying to make. That's the way the show is trying to blend it, you know? Calm after the storm. Everything gets better when you focus on your mental health. No, that's not how it's gonna work for them, at least. They're gonna continue being in the public eye and continue getting hate comments. They're going on all hopeful and cheerful at the end when they were absolutely desolate in the beginning. No, it's a lie. Which is, I guess, why I didn't like the format of the show in the beginning. Because it's either they were gonna go on and on and on about how they hate social media for the whole 8 episodes, or try and shift it into some bright light kind of situation. And that's just foolishness in my opinion. In the last episode 8, Charlie's birthday, another thing that they were trying to make it seem like it was this kind of growth spouting thing for Charlie, and I didn't buy it. They tried to frame it as her, when she cried, her saying or demanding a break, when that wasn't the case, or that's not the way they filmed it. It made her look like she was crying herself out, and then her mother said to the agent she needs a break, and then she got the break. But they tried to paint it afterwards as if she was standing up for herself and stating that her mental health is more important than what is going on with her career, which I do think is the case, but that's just not the way they made it seem. I don't feel like she was as non-outspoken as they tried to make her seem. Like, they were trying to make it seem like all of a sudden she had become so outspoken and now knows how to stand up for herself, but I didn't see that as the case, because I just didn't. It's either they didn't give the arc enough time to grow, but I didn't buy it. I'm sorry. I don't like happy endings, and that's the way how they tried to frame it, but you know, that's a personal problem. So that's the end of the show. Happy birthday, Charlie. Here are my final and overall thoughts. Wow. Yeah, I think they really beat at a dead push for the first 6 episodes. Like, it just draws on and on and on. I think it would have been much better if they made it into like this movie or documentary of like an hour and a half, where they showed the most important parts, had their different talks, and just ended it there. That's just my personal opinion, because I do think the message of the series was okay. I feel like it could have had more depth to it, but that's just me. It just gets really boring when you're hearing the same thing over and over, just in a different setting. It's just not what I expected. It's really not. I think I would have much preferred a drama-filled series and stuff like that, but I guess it's okay. It's just an anti-bullying campaign, you know. I didn't know Charlie's age before I started this video, but this show, same thing. I didn't know her age, but I was very surprised when I found out she was 16, because I had no idea she was 16. I thought she was older than me or closer to my age. Yeah, when it comes to her career, she hasn't done anything outstanding, but like, level of hate that she gets at her young age, you people don't take anything into consideration. Why are you telling a 16-year-old that she should have died because this random person on the internet predicted her? That's weird enough, but you see that she didn't die, and then you're like, why aren't you dead? It's a 16-year-old girl, you freak. This show opened my eyes, but like, it should have been shorter. It should have been shorter. It did open my eyes to the level of hate that they get that tends to be unnecessary. Some of them are funny in my opinion, but let's move on from that really quickly. I thought most of it just had to do with the fact that people were like, why do they get so much attention when they haven't really done anything? And I just thought it ended there. I was a fool to think it ended there. Yeah, bye. That's my thoughts on the show and everything that happened. Even though the title does say I watched this so you wouldn't have to, I do think that if you want to have a genuine opinion of it, that you watch it for yourself. Because thing is, YouTube videos and commentary channels edit things for the narrative that they want to portray. I can watch several YouTubers react to the same movie but bring up different parts, or one think the movie's funny so they show the funny parts, and one person think the movie's absolutely boring so they don't show those parts that the other person considers funny. I'm just saying there's always a narrative that can be made, and I could have been extremely biased in this video without even recognizing it. So if you want a genuine opinion, I think you should watch it for yourself. And if you don't, thank you for choosing to watch my video instead of watching it. Remember, today's video is sponsored by my book. It is a book about feelings and my progress in writing and self-expression. It has poems and 3 short stories. You can order that on Amazon by the link in the description, or check out the video in the eye. Thank you for watching. Please share, comment, like, whatever you want to do. It actually doesn't matter to me. Yeah, bye.